Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League. We are live here with lower bracket semifinals. My name is Retro. I will be casting for you tonight. We have an absolute banger of a match, I do believe. We have FireBird Esports, who have been dominating quite a bit so far throughout the tournament. They did lose one game. It was a few days ago. They lost against Arctic Wolves, but it was a very, very well fought battle from them. They lost it 2-1. So it was the first time that we actually saw three maps. That we saw a match go all the way down to map 3 in the tournament. So it was a hard fought battle. They got knocked down to the lower bracket, and now they're looking to advance further. Lumina Gaming, against all odds, managed to beat Voltage Gaming on Saturday, where they also went 3 maps, but it was a very chaotic game. And of course, Lumina Gaming, as they did on Saturday, are tonight playing with 3 subs. The only 2 players on their team that are part of their consistent roster are Maggie and Zet. The rest are all subs, so it's going to be. Oh, Solus. Oh, I apologize. Solus is also another main player of Lumina. So this time they were playing with only 2 subs in comparison to Saturday's game where they played with 3 subs. But without further ado, round 1 is about to begin of this matchup that we have here tonight. The bans have already gone. Pretty standard bans that we've seen all throughout the tournament so far. Nook has been getting banned quite a lot. She has survived the ban phase a minimal amount of times, as has Azami, as have actually Thatcher and Cade. Of course, they are very, very strong on this map specifically. All 4 of these operators are strong all of the time, but they're especially strong on Oregon, which is exactly why we are seeing them get banned. Of course, Cade can make that basement site a nuisance, which is already pretty difficult to attack. Asami can do the same, but she can also deny entry and be quite a nuisance on all sites. Nook, of course, can sneak past those cameras and just go straight into the site. And Thatcher, of course, can clear out so much utility that getting him off the board is always a good call. But round 1 is a go. Lumina are defending top floor. And I guess we'll have to see how this goes for them. The attack is already commencing from the western side. And it does seem to be a bit of a fast-paced push as well, considering the operators that they've brought. Of course, the Lion typically indicates a bit of a fast-paced push, as does an Iana pick. Iana will be going down below to try and get some of that verticality started with those grenades, as will the Buck. There goes the first E1D to try and find some of these defenders that are roaming. That will be Maggie and Future currently on the mid floor trying to roam. Martin taking a lot of damage from those vertical angles from inside of Kids. Zet taking some damage as well on the counter verticality. Martin just holding on to a flank position here to deny Future a kill. And as I say that, Huno does get the first pick onto Zet. That is a very, very important pick. That's the smoke off the board for Lumina, and it's definitely going to make things a little bit more difficult. Future picks up 1, picks up 2, and despite the drone and despite the flank watch, Future manages to get away with 2 kills, pretty much scot-free. Is on low HP, but as I say, did already pick up 2 kills. Solros picks up another as well, and a round that maybe looked a bit difficult for Lumina once they lost the smoke is now looking like it's going to be all Luminas. It's all down to Huno and Hiram. Huno now picking up the diffuser. And having to play together. Of course, they lost their Hard Breacher. They lost their Buck, so they're not going to be able to do any more vertical damage, especially with both of those grenades gone from Huno. Future in a huge position here at the bottom of these white stairs, or at the top of the freezer stairs, how you will. There goes the swing, and there goes the kill. That's a 3K here for Future, and it's all down to Hiram. Diffuser in hand on this big window. He's just having to stall out, maybe try to get a free pick onto somebody that peeks out. Still has three of those flashes left in pocket. Still has some of those Flores drones as well to try and scout out some information to try and get rid of some of this utility. But of course, with the time so low, it's going to be a really difficult round. Pretty much unwinnable here for Hiram. There goes the run out and a C4. Picks up one. Getting peeked from the window inside of tower. And there goes the kill to win the round for Lumina Gaming. Great round from them to start this match off. But, you know, we've only begun, and the game is long from over here for FireBird Esports. Lumina Gaming will be going downstairs now. That is the strongest side on this map. It's very, very difficult to attack, especially when you've got a Mira in pocket, which luckily Lumina do have. So this is going to be really, really difficult for FireBird to try and attack. I want to point out that if you were here in the stream on Saturday when we saw Lumina Gaming take on Voltage, you will remember that they were bringing a lot of, you know, very basic and default strats because they were playing with 3 subs, and it's very, very difficult to try and pull off a specific strat that, you know, a team has spent months perfecting and scrimming and all of that. And it does look like they're going for the same setup here. Of course, having the Mira on board, which I don't believe they had last time, helps them quite a bit in setting up this defense, but they are going for, you know, just your standard setups rather than for something extravagant, because of course they don't have the experience that they need to have a very specific and extravagant strat that I'm sure we'll see FireBird pull out once they get onto the defensive half. But the attack has already commenced, again coming from the western side, and it looks like everybody is going to be pushing down Freezer, or at least going to be coming from that side of the map. They're pretty much ignoring the front side, or I guess the back side of the map, with that blue take that is being covered by the smoke and the Mira, so they are just ignoring it completely. And Future and Martin are just dancing around each other. Future will drop away and remain alive. But with a minute already gone and the roam clear finished, FireBird will start to open up these hatches and start to set up and execute for themselves. Very, very little pushback from Lumina on this attack, and Hiram already making their way down into Freezer. They will have Struve to contest against with those magnets, as well as a Mira window to hold on to. Of course, both of the Miras are looking down at the front side. One is inside of cluster looking down to Laundry, and the other one is inside of Laundry looking down into Freezer. Here goes the rotate and the push onto Bunker. It's Suko who could be in some trouble here if they are not careful, but they pick up the first kill onto Future. They still have another one. There goes the swing from Zet and picks up the kill to equalize the man count once again. 45 seconds left to go, and this will have to be a hatch drop and a plant attempt from FireBird. Martin rotates their way all the way to blue as well to try and push the smoke out of their position inside of Elbow, but this is going to be very, very challenging. There goes the swing from Zet, picks up another. Struve with the kill onto Yuno, and now it's all down to Hiram as Yuno goes down as well. Diffuser is long and gone as Struve picks up his second to win another round for Lumina. Lumina really setting themselves up for a really, really strong half here, and potentially a really, really strong match. Coming off of a really good win against Voltage on Saturday. They are definitely picking up some steam here with already winning 2 rounds in a row. Of course, they are defending on Oregon, and Oregon is a very defender-sided map, so this isn't actually that much of a shock, especially because those were the 2 primary sites, or the primary and the secondary site, which typically the defense does end up winning. But it's still a really, really good setup from Lumina to be winning these rounds and to not really be giving too much away. Their roaming was very minimal in both of those rounds, and it worked out. I do worry, however, if FireBird pick up on the fact that Lumina don't really roam all that much, it could be a bit of trouble. Of course, we've seen that happen to teams so far in this tournament, where they're going to be very passive, they're not going to be roaming all too much, and as soon as their opponents figure that out and catch on to that, that's when it's all over for them. So I hope that Lumina aren't just going to be completely giving it away, but will still be giving a little bit of pushback onto those attackers so that they don't just get dismantled just from getting protected on their defense. Is that going for a pretty ballsy spawn peek, especially being the Lumai, whose utility sort of comes in throughout the round and isn't all there all at once. Will be the first line of defense here as Martin and Suko try to push up the tower. Still holding inside of T3 and waiting to be droned out, trying to catch a kill or 2. That is a very, very dangerous play there from Martin. There goes the first kill from Future onto Yuno elsewhere. That's the Habana gone. There goes the kill onto Zet, finally picking them up. But Suga gets traded out from the small tower window. Solros falls back and away, and that's both of FireBird's hard breachers gone. So now any entry into site will be very, very limited, as they only have really those grenades to maybe open up soft breach, but that's not really what they should be used for. So this is going to be quite a difficult round here for Lumina, especially as that hatch gets closed up as well. So everything is now reinforced, and it's going to be very, very difficult for FireBird to try and contest against that. There goes a boom mine, doing a little bit of damage onto Martin as he puts down that shield.
ADS up and running.
Future still inside of attic. Doesn't even have to be worried about anything, as with the man advantage, FireBird won't even be going for the top floor control. It's far too late for them to try and gain that now. They will have to go straight into site. Martin gets spotted by a proxy alarm. That was a lot of damage, but the soul was not enough to pick up the kill. Another smoke grenade comes out, and Martin could pick up the kill here, but of course it's Future with those vertical angles to pick up the kill instead. And now, again, Hiram and Hyuno in a 2 versus 4 to try and close the round out here for FireBird in round 3. Doing a lot of damage to Maggie from all the way from small tower. Future picks up Hyuno. Hiram does pick up Solros, but there's not enough time for Hiram to do anything else other than pick up a kill onto Future, and that is the round now over. And it's 3 up and away for Lumina Gaming. Definitely a great start to this game for them. Disconnecting a little bit. Lumina also complaining of lag, so it might just be one of those days on the server when everyone's a little bit laggy. Hopefully, lagging a little bit and having technical issues wasn't a big contributor to FireBird's losses. Of course, I think their biggest issue so far In the first 2 rounds was pacing. They were very, very slow in their execute and in their attack. In the third round, where they didn't expect, where they probably didn't expect such a high stakes roaming from Lumina, they were met with exactly that, and they lost 2 people trying to contest the roam. So they are definitely going to have to restructure the way that they attack, and not let that happen again. But Lumina Gaming will be going back to dorms or the upper floor site. Of course, that is the ideal rotation now for them. They won all 3 of their site picks, and now they can go anywhere they want. Well, not anywhere they want. They can go back to their primary site. Of course, they can't go back to basement or to kitchen meeting, but still being able to go to their primary site is an advantage. Um, of course, seeing as they won it the first time quite confidently. Yep. Still just waiting for Yuna to reconnect. As we see Suka just switching between operators. I don't know, might be checking loadouts or some such. I did see them pick onto Blitz for a moment, and that could be a very, very interesting pick. We did see Lumina rush quite a lot as they did play Oregon on Saturday against Voltage. So it would be very, very interesting to see FireBird pull out a rush strat of sorts. You know, that Ying pick, Lion, Finka, Blitz, and just rush. Um, you know, it could be a free round if Lumina aren't ready for it and if they win their gunfights, but of course it also could just as well be a free round for Lumina Gaming. So the hypothetical situation that I'm describing here will not be Firebird's plan. They will be going for a standard attack. Of course, we're gonna have to wait and see which operator Yuno picks onto once they return. But we do see the rest of the team have already picked onto their operators, and they will likely not be switching, at least not too much, and at least not switching roles. Of course, every operator in Siege has a designated role. That's a lot easier to see nowadays with the little. What would that be? It's basically it just tells you in the pick banner what your operator is. You know, anti-entry, trapper, uh, support, entry, stuff like that. Um, Typically in competitive Siege, the roles are broken down much simpler. You've got the entries, you've got the supports, and then you've got the flexes, which are somewhere in between. Uh, oh, and there we go. A rehost will have to ensue from Firebird due to connection issues. But I guess, as I was saying, the roles in competitive Siege are broken down into much simpler terms, with just entry, support, and flex. Entries, of course, they are the ones that go into the building first. They're the one leading the attack. Typically, those will be, very quick operators, and they will typically have utility that is good for clearing immediate utility. So they will have. Well, there we go. Perfectly, we can see some. Actually, I don't think that you guys can see this on the stream, but as the lobby gets remade, I can at least see operators. one of the most obvious entry operators is Ash, who, of course, is very very quick, has a really good gun, but then also has those projectiles, which typically will be used to clear out immediate frontline utility. So shields that are set up away from sight. When I say away from sight, I mean site adjacent. Um, a really good example for Oregon is on top floor. That trophy shield that a lot of people love to play. Um, that shield typically will be something that entries have to deal with first. Um, and then, of course, you have the supports, which are there to breach the walls, to hold on for flanks, to drone in their entries, and then support flexes just sort of fall in between. They pick up the role of the in between. They can clear out utility, or they can hard breach, or they can soft breach, depending on the map, depending on the site, depending on the attack itself entirely. Um, and all of that is now a little bit irrelevant because we can't see the operators that FireBird had picked onto that were telling us the roles that they were playing. But you know, players typically will have necessarily a designated role that they are sort of stuck in, but a sort of general vibe that they go with. And yeah, so that's what we could see from FireBird earlier with their picks. We had Martin on the Yana as the sort of entry, and then we had Hiram on the floors, of course, with the support. So that's sort of where all of that came from. Uh, Um, but yeah, as I was saying before, Lumina are very good so far with defending and with bringing out something unexpected. In the first two rounds, their roaming was minimal. Future did get a couple of kills on the first round from that roam, but then dipped straight away. I think maybe not even a minute had gone when those kills were picked up, and when Future just dipped all the way back to site. And on the second round, Future again didn't even get kills, just dipped straight away. And that was, I think might have given Firebird a bit of a false sense of security. It's like, okay, they're not roaming all that much. We can, confidently go in to take control. And then Lumina were like, nope, psych. We are actually roaming. We're roaming quite extensively. There's 3 of us in Tall Tower, and, well, 2 of you are dead. So there's really, really good misdirection from Lumina to mess with Firebird's plans. And to really keep them on their toes. You don't really want to be too predictable as a team. Of course, there's only so much versatility that you have, and only so much maneuverability that a map can give you. To the point where you're just confusing your opponents. But having some of that unpredictability is a really, really good trait for a team. And that typically does come from either their IGL or their coach or their analyst, whoever is the one coming up with strats, will advise them on, and it also falls down to adaptability, being able to adapt to the moment, being able to adapt to your opponent. If Lumina were playing a much more aggressive team who were just running straight in, running for the fences, gunning, shooting everything down, Lumina would definitely have to counter that aggression with either, the same amount of force on the aggression, or, a little bit of passiveness and turtling down and just forcing them to come to them, with something like a Capcan trap or lesions, Gumans, rather, or, Malusi Banshees, anything like that to slow down a very aggressive team. But luckily for Lumina, they are playing a sort of a mid-range pace team where Firebird aren't necessarily rushing, but they aren't also exactly, the slowest. Although their pacing has been an issue, or was an issue in the first 2 rounds, and then they just lost 2 people very early on, so there was very little that they could do with that. But yeah, the lobby is just about ready to go here between FireBird and Lumina, so we are just about ready to get started with or get started again with the game. We do apologize for the wait here. Of course, there's not much we can do. There's nothing you can really control here about it. We had some connection issues yesterday as well. It's just down to servers and bandwidth and whatnot. The big words, smart words, big tech lingo. But here we are. The lobby is ready to go, and so are we. We are back on Oregon. It is FireBird versus Lumina Gaming, and it is round 4 once again. So this is the midway point between the this is the midway point on the half, and how the second half of the first half goes. It will be quite crucial for the result, the results on the second half. Of course, depending on whether Lumina keep winning, will decide how strong of an attack they will have. That doesn't quite make sense, so I will explain what I mean. Of course, Lumina Gaming, now being up 3 rounds, does secure them at least an even split on the half, and does put them, at least so far, in the front seat as far as their attacking half goes. Of course, Oregon is a lot easier to defend than it is to attack, so if you are starting on the defensive side, the more rounds that you pick up on that defensive side, the easier, quote-unquote, it is for you to attack. By easier, I mean the more leeway that you have. Of course, if they were now down 3 rounds on defense and then having to go attack a very defender-sided map, they would be in trouble. Whereas FireBird still have a little bit more maneuverability, because if they manage to pick themselves up an even split, oh, and this could be a kill here from Maggie, the drones are coming out. And they do spot Maggie, so they're gonna have to fall off. But Huno picks up a kill onto Stroof. That... I'm not sure where that was. That might have been on the main door down below. Nope. But it is a first kill nonetheless. A really, really good entry here for FireBird, and they finally have the horse by the reins here in round 4. They are going for the attack onto Attic this time. The previous time they tried to go through wet and try to get a lot of the verticality, and it didn't really work. So they are now adapting. A lot of shots being here exchanged between Yuno and the Warden of Zet. Not enough to really do damage to either one of them, but they are now aware of each other's presence. Oh, and this could be a power position if Future remains undroned. Oh, and Hiram does spot Future, so that is a good droning there from Hiram. Suko getting challenged onto in that breach, unable to get open as they have those Mew Jammers. They do get destroyed from below with a vertical grenade, and Suko narrowly surviving there in a really bad position. And on ADS, there goes Huno picking up another kill into Future. Maggie finally with the trade. There goes another from Zet, and Maggie picks up one more. That's the Fuser dead and gone inside of Attic. And what was really looking like it was going to be a FireBird round is turning completely around. Oh, actually, no, the diffuser is inside of bedroom, so that is going to be still within their control as Hiram opens up this Attic wall, but Zet could get the kill here through the window, pulled all the way back into the tower. There's a little few quad shots onto Hiram. They pick up Solrus Huno now on a 4K. One away from the ace, but it's Hiram to steal the ace. And FireBird finally put themselves on the board. Solrus upset about the way that they died there. A whole lot of excuses coming out from Lumina about why they died. I think that was just really, really well played there from FireBird. They did lose 2 people, but they were immediately back on those trades. And that was really, really good. Much better pacing from them, because even in that 2v2 or 2v3, they were dealing with about 45 to 50 seconds still, which is still really, really good. When you've got, the breaches open, you have diffuser in hand, you have map control, there's no one flanking, there's no one still roaming, that you only need to push into site and get those kills or get that plant down. So that was really, really good pacing from FireBird, and it is a really good change of scenery from them. But Lumina are going back upstairs to try and hold on to that site one more time. FireBird putting themselves into a good position here by getting at least 1 round on the half. Of course, even if they lose 2 more rounds, that gives them a little bit of leeway in the second half. Of course, if you are down 6-0, even when you're going onto the defensive side, it is still not ideal, because you cannot afford to lose a single round. And the first engagements might be coming out here from Future and Hiram. That window is not broken. And Hiram is really chancing it here with the repel, but they will be going back up onto the roof and leaving that. Of course, that position is very, very powerful. For as long as Future is in there, the attack is very, very difficult to continue into the rest of the map. Once again opening up the attic wall. That shield inside of Trophy does get opened up, and that forces Future out of the woodworks from inside of Armory and back outside. He has to rotate around again as they droned him out, and they know that he's looking to retreat. Zet taking a lot of damage on these holes. I'm not sure whether that was the head holes into Trophy or maybe the breach being opened up into attic, but did take quite a lot of damage there. As 90 seconds of the round have gone. And 2 defenders are on the basement stairs as Maggie and Solrus both pick up a piece. That will be Future trying to flank as well, but no. It's Maggie and Future both rotating around and away to the white stairs. Suko picking up a kill onto Zet, finally finishing off what they started earlier. Those vacuum cameras causing a little bit of trouble here for the attack. As now 50 seconds left to go. 2 defenders still on those white stairs. Maggie will push on through. Solrus remaining downstairs. They pick up another kill onto Shroof. There goes the swing for Future. Does a lot of damage through the wall, but not able to finish off the kill. Solrus could be going for a C4 here, and there goes the C4 onto the planter. There goes the swing from Future to pick up the final 2, and Lumina Gaming win round number 5. Wow, that was some patience from Solrus to see 2 attackers and not take the shots, and to only go for the C4 once they heard the plant start going down. Great patience there from Lumina. Great job bringing that back around. And FireBird, despite having better pacing again, just are not able to bring this back around. They will be defending or attacking onto the basement site once more, and this will be the final attack for them in this half. They are now looking to win at least this one more round, as they look onto the side switch in round 7. I think I started saying earlier, but then didn't finish. Lumina Gaming now being at minimum up 4-2 on their attacking half does give them some leeway. If they lose those primary site attacks, they still have more rounds left to lose and to win. A bit of a traffic jam inside of the elbow rotate. Nothing that Lumina cannot deal with, however. It looks like Hiram will be going into the tall tower very early on. That is the Amaru, typically seen as a rush operator. That is a very dangerous drop, I'll say. I've died to that many times. You miss that beam and you die. There goes a very aggressive push here from Hiram, clearing out that tower very, very early on, and gaining a little bit more map control. That Flores drone will be taking care of this shield, and it will leave Zet completely exposed. Of course, the Rotero drones in combination with the shock drones from the Twitch allow quite a bit of utility clear, and disconnecting again. This time there will be no rehost allowed as the round has already begun. Future picking up the kill onto Hiram, and this is not looking good here for FireBird. Able to return quickly, so despite disconnecting, that will be another person on the cameras now, which is not always a very good trade, but it's better than a player not being in the lobby at all. Future getting very aggressive here onto Martin, neither picking up the kill. And now with 90 seconds to go, this is going to be very difficult for FireBird as they still have that mirror to contest with. This time the mirror is facing them inside of blue. And a very aggressive push from Future, followed up by Soros on that mirror window, will end Suko's life, and it's all down to Huno and Martin. Huno holding on to the pillar position, trying to get potentially a free pick. Meanwhile, Martin rotating all the way down to Freezer Stairs with the diffuser in hand. This could be the diffuser, and subsequently round lost. Gives away his position by shooting at that camera. Of course, can't really take any chances. There goes a grenade out, but there are plenty of magnets to protect Shroof in this position inside of Freezer. Huno pushes down those back stairs, picks up one onto Solrus. Will have to deal with Zet next. There goes Zet with the kill as Martin picks up Shroof. Martin now on very, very low HP has to contest against an SAS shotgun and a Vector 45. Trying to make himself a rotate. Does succeed. That smoke doing a little bit of damage, and it's Maggie with the Vector to pick up the final kill of the round and of the half, putting Lumina on a 5-1 lead as we see the side switch. I can't help but wonder whether that would have had a different outcome had not disconnected. But I guess we'll just never know. But as I was saying, Lumina are now in a very, very good position. They have a very, very strong lead, and that leaves them with a lot of breathing room. Of course, I say this all the time. I think I've said this in every single stream so far, but for those who maybe haven't watched those ones, I will say it again. When you are up by any amount of rounds, when you're going on to the less favored side on a map, on Oregon, that would statistically be attack. The amount of rounds that you're up by isn't the amount of rounds that you have to be silly, to go for a rush, to go for something stupid, to just goof around with. because that is how you lose rounds. It being overconfident and cocky and being, just silly in those rounds that you are quote unquote up by or ahead by is a really quick way to lose all of the rounds that you have as an advantage and lose the map as well. We'll be going for a run out here from the small tower and could just pick up a kill. There goes the cam getting shot, and there goes the run out attempt, but from behind cover. I think that was Future contesting that, or it might have been Shroof. I don't know. Actually, I think it was probably Maggie, to be honest. Seeing as the only two players on that side are Future and Maggie is more likely. But the attack is already commencing here onto the armory stairs. The smoke does go out to prevent Future from going anywhere further. And those Mew Jammers will prevent this fuse charge from deploying, but Maggie will get them off anyway. And there goes those hard reach charges as well on the wall. It got shot from below? I'm not really sure how that breach was denied. But it was. The second breach charge does go out up on that wall as well. Those zero cams given away Yuno's position, but still unable to push on. A drone in there as well as more of those Candelas come in. That reinforcement will be put up on the rotate, now giving limited control to Lumina as we reach that halfway point in the round. They still have the ace, so that attic wall will be getting opened up as well. And a lot of contention is happening here on this top white position. Maggie picks up the kill onto Yuno. That's the smoke gone. The only deterrent now, as far as entry goes, will be their guns and what is left of Goyo. But Zed has made his way inside of the site and will be going down for the plant. Future picks up the kill onto Suko. There goes the C4, a little too late, and Lumina pick up the round. Absolutely brilliantly. Put themselves on match point, or map point rather. A really, really great start to their attacking half. Just as I was saying that, when you're up by a certain amount of rounds, you shouldn't be rushing, because it's a really quick way to lose rounds. You should treat those rounds that you are ahead by as just rounds that, worst comes to worst, you lose the primary attacks. Not all hope is lost and you can win the tertiary site. But Lumina go for a very aggressive push. I really liked what they did with the fuse there. You don't see that all that often. Teams do like to go for a bit of a standard take there with, trying to get it from below, using an ace charge on that. But no, it was just a fuse with hard reach charges to open up that wall very quickly. And now they're going to be going for the basement site attack, switching off of that fuse onto the sledge, taking up a gridlock as well, which I'm very happy to see. I love Gridlock. I've really taken a liking to her in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, something like that. But she is really, really good. She is a really, really strong operator, very, very underrated. She has a killer gun. Both of her guns are really, really good. She has that rifle that we see Solra Spring. She also has the LMG, and of course those track stingers. Sometimes they're a little bit better than Nomad's air jabs, I will say. They do damage, and they give a really, really good sound cue. They're still really good at holding off the defenders. Of course, not in all situations. She's better than Nomad, but she's still really, really good. She's really good for flank watch. She's really good at taking map control. So she's a really, really good, well-rounded operator. She has the Gaunt 6. She has the smoke grenades or impact TMPs, depending on what you need. Just a really, really well-rounded operator. The only downside to her, really, which I do believe is why she's not brought as often as I would like to see her be brought, is that she is slow. Of course, being a one-speed does make it quite annoying to play her. There goes a grenade! Following up those breaches a little bit too late, as Martin was able to pick up those breaches anyway. The breach does get opened, but that's a lot of utility wasted, and that will mean that main side hatch will remain closed, as the Hibana is not completely out of pellets. But as we reach the 70-second mark in this round, we are still at a 5 versus 5 in this lobby. Lumina still yet to clear this... I forgot the word. Elbow shield. A smoke grenade does come out to cover the push, but there is a bulletproof camera that does spot them. Soros picks up a death, I guess. There goes a trade from Maggie and Zet. They both pick up a piece, and it's all down to Suko and Huno. There goes the C4 to kill the planter. The diffuser now down cold on the ground. Huno picks up 2, and it's all down to Future now. 1 versus 2. Knows where one of them is. Does pick up the kill onto 1. There goes the swing onto the other, but it's Suko to finish the round and to put another one on the board for FireBird Esports. That would have been a clutch for the ages if Future was able to pull that off and finish the map in spectacular fashion there for Lumina Gaming. But of course, you know, the round may have been won, but the map is long from over for FireBird, and that came way too close for them in any case. They will have to go back upstairs to try and hold on to that one more time. The last time that they defended this site, it was a very aggressive push from Lumina that stopped them in their tracks and that put Lumina on map point. So they will have to be very careful to win this round, or it is all over, and we'll be going on to Cafe, I believe, is the second map between these two teams.
10 seconds left.
I think so.
5 seconds.
But in either case, round 8 is a go. It is? No, round 9. We've already had 8 rounds. If you've been following along with this tournament, you'll know I'm not very good at math. But that's good, because I'm here to cast Siege and not to be a mathematician. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The attack will be commencing from the attic site again. Here for Lumina, as they've already taken control of that armory set. Of course, we did see Future playing inside of there on their defensive path every single round, but it's not something that FireBird are going for. They are aware of Future's presence at the top of armory stairs. So far, they are not going to be doing anything about it. And again, those fuse charges alongside the hard breach. Martin does pick up a kill onto Maggie. Could not tell you how. Oh, it was just a swing onto the breach. I thought that was the white player. But the breach is now open. Future has taken a position of Maggie, and that was Yuno able to cross back and into attic twice without any repercussions. Martin picks up a kill onto Stroof. And this is looking a lot better here for FireBird, but they do still have a lot of time to contest against this. Martin picks up a kill onto Zet, and now this is looking a lot better for them. The diffuser is lost inside of attic. both of the attackers are spread apart from
Attackers
each
have
other,
located a
and they
bomb.
have to push solo. Future's position being given away by that barbed wire. Solo's picking up a kill onto Hiram. That breach will be getting opened up into Attic as well. Suka finally finishes off Future by pushing into bedroom, and now it's all down to Solvros. Solvros picks up 2 here on the what would the word for that be? Lineup is the word. 30 seconds left to go. The last player is Huno downstairs, who will be waiting below for that defuse. Oh, and this is really not. Oh my god! Solrus with the kill onto Huno down below. I don't know if he heard them or just predicted that be where he is. What a kill! I was just about to say, and that is really not where Solros wants to pass through because Huno's down below to pick up the kill. Wow, what a shot! Wow. But that closes out this map. Lumina, despite the 2 subs, are absolutely annihilating FireBird at this point in time. It's a 7-2 closeout on the attacking half. For Lumina. Wow, what a map that was. But we will be taking a short break. When we come back, I do believe it will be Cafe. If not, it will be Clubhouse. In any case, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
to Boston, lives in a world she's lost in, victim of compromise. He's staring at her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just sheds her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let him taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. Wasted moments, full of potential that torments. An angel in disguise, but he can see her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. Oh. He's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just sheds her ears. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let him taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Revival League upper bracket semifinals. Or is it lower bracket? I've lost my words. In any case, I am Retro. We are back here with FireBird versus Lumina Gaming. This is the lower bracket semifinals. I do apologize. We've already seen a map between these two teams. They played on Oregon, and Lumina, an absolutely astonishing 7-2 win, brought them on match point here as we head on into Cafe. FireBird were struggling a little bit. They also had a couple disconnects as well, which are definitely contributing to, at the very least, a little bit of their mentality being wasted. Of course, every time that a teammate gets disconnected, and then you're left on much less favorable numbers than you would have been had they been around. Especially if it's a high-value operator, of course, that can mess with you and make you a little bit frustrated. So hopefully, in the break that we had here between the maps, FireBird were able to resolve any of such mentality issues and are back and ready to swing onto Lumina with full force. They are defending this time, or defending first this time, rather. As before, it was Lumina defending a very defender-sided Oregon. So now it is FireBird defending a very defender-sided Cafe. And while I was talking, the bans did come out. Nook and Azami, again, just gone right off the board. They were both gone in the previous map as well. I've spoken at length about these two operators throughout the tournament so far. They're both very, very strong. Nook can sneak past all of their cameras. Of course, she has a really good gun with that FMG9. Suppressed weapon at all times can really, really be a nuisance to deal with as a defender. She can sneak past all of your cameras. She has those 2 frag grenades. So she's a really, really well-rounded operator. And I'm not at all surprised that she's gone. Same goes for Azami. Azami, of course, can make that piano room that we just saw Hyuno go into and reinforce the red walls of. She can make that room pretty much unattackable. She can waste all 3 minutes sometimes inside of that room, this room right now that we see Martin be inside of and trying to spawn peek from. So I'm not surprised that FireBird decided to get her off the board, because although they are defending first, they will have to attack eventually, and well, she can make it pretty much impossible to attack. Hyuno, I'm not even sure how that was a miss onto Future. I thought that 100% would have been a kill. Aim labs, yeah, maybe. But yeah, Hyuno coming out worse for wear after that spawn peek attempt. But to finish off, the bans were Dokebi and Wamai. Again, Wamai can make it really difficult to try and clear a lot of utility, and Dokebi is just a really strong operator. She has that DMR, really good for long-range finds, so she's really good on a big map like Cafe. She has those calls, which make it really difficult to roam. And of course, she has the GON 6 or SMG-12, depending on which how you're choosing to play. Of course, the SMG-12 is really good for close quarter combat. And then she also has smoke grenades or impact TMPs, depending on what you need. Like, it's a really, really strong operator. And I'm not at all surprised to see her getting banned as much as she is. She has a pretty high ban rate so far in the tournament, and I think in the league as well. But with 90 seconds already gone, the attackers are still trying to clear out the bottom floors. Maggie taking a lot of damage. I would not be sure where from. Might have been a run out, or might have been just some shots. I don't know. In any case, that's now 2 minutes gone. And Lumina are still looking to set up for an execute, of course. Have to play against the Mira as well will be quite difficult. Will make Piano very difficult to gain control of. And with 2 players down below still trying to chase Martin and potentially even shooting each other, there goes Future with the kill finally onto Martin. They're going to start doing a little bit of vertical damage. Yuno with the kill onto Maggie on that window. That is really unfortunate death there for Maggie, as that is their Capital. I do believe all 4 Capital Bulls were still in pockets. Shrew picks up a kill onto Hiram. There goes Hyuno with the trade, and then some. Yuno picking up another, and it's all down to Solros. Does have that mirror window for a little bit of insight, but against 3 defenders, it's going to be pretty much impossible. There goes 1. Still has to find 2, and it's Hyuno that finds him instead. And FireBird pick up the first round here on Cafe and set themselves up potentially for a really, really good map here on Cafe. They will be going down to kitchen service, or kitchen. I never knew that both of those sites were named kitchen. Typically I just call one of the sites kitchen, which I guess would be kitchen cooking, and then I call the other one just the other site,
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
which is probably why I'm not a competitive Siege player.
Bomb located by attackers.
And I will be using that as the only reason for why I'm not a competitive Siege player. And it has nothing to do with my peak in Plat 3 or my average placement in Gold. But enough about me. We have a round here to look at. A problem that I noticed there for Lumina was pacing. It was 90 seconds gone, and they were still trying to clear out that middle floor. And then they were just losing their gunfights on that top floor once that final minute was a go. So hopefully they're going to have a little bit better pacing here, especially they should, considering that they had that Thatcher on board. But I am worried a little bit about the fact that they didn't bring a Sledge or a Buck, which are both very crucial in trying to attack that bottom site on Cafe, considering how vertical the map is. But I guess they're just going to completely ignore the verticality and just try to go for a horizontal take, which might be a bit of a mistake, because if you aren't playing vertical, your opponents will be. So, you know, you're just sort of setting yourself up a little bit. But that prep wall is open. The main site wall will be getting opened up as well, of course. The Thatcher making that possible. And that floor drone will be doing quite a lot of utility clear. That shield now gone. I do believe that was a grenade, actually, that cleared that shield, not a floor drone. Oh, it couldn't have been a grenade. Oh, but there goes the swing from Maggie. Knows there's one inside of Kochik. There's a crucial position for the defense to still try and hold on to. There goes Fusion with the kill onto the player playing inside of sight. Plant is going down. C4 goes out just a little bit too late. Doesn't pick up the kill. And Suko does get picked up. Martin finally back in sight. Picks up one. Kuno dies. And it's all down to Martin now. Can't quite connect the shots to get that kill. Very low amount of ammo inside of that. P10, Roni, and FireBird win another round. Wait, no, that's not FireBird. That's Lumina that won the round. I am all over the place. Lumina picked up the round. And that's, you know, a really, really good round for them to get. I was talking about how their pacing was a bit off. And I think that they noticed that as well, because they went for a much more aggressive push. And, you know, if by ignoring that vertical play and by ignoring that roam, they isolated the players that were still on site. There were 2 players on site and 1 site adjacent inside of Kochek. But by isolating those 2 players on site and by locking off any potential angles that Suko could get onto from inside of Kochek, that allowed them the time that they needed to get that plant down. You know, by the time that Huno and Martin got all the way down back to site, the round was basically as good as over for them. So much better pacing from Lumina, and considering their lineup, I do believe they're going to be going for the exact same thing again, which it does look like FireBird are a lot more prepared for, because they do not have the Oryx anymore, and they brought the Jaeger? Who do they have now that they didn't before? I swear they had an Oryx. Am I tripping? I might be tripping, but I swear they had an Oryx. Suko very late to pick up this hatch reinforcement. Of course, I do believe that he will be able to do that without trouble, but it's Future to pick up the first kill onto Huno. That's their smoke gone, and that is a very, very important operator to have, and a very big operator to lose. That grenade gets swallowed up by the ADS. Future was trying to kill anybody potentially on that vertical angle. Maggie is being contested onto inside of White. Future can't quite get the kill there because of the debris. And this is, again, really good pacing, but Yuno pushes out and gets 2 for the price of 1. Hiram picks up another, and now it's all down to Maggie and Shrew for the diffuser lost inside of Bakery. They're both quite detached from each other, so this is going to be a challenge. But of course, they do still have quite a lot of time, and a 2v3 is not that bad of a position to be in, of course, if they play their cards right. They still have that Kocek player to deal with, as well as 2 players on site, which are going to make this a lot challenging. There goes Stroop picking up the kill onto Hiram. Hiram getting a little bit too aggressive inside of Freezer. Maggie picks up the next one onto Yuna, and it's all down to Martin inside of Kocek. The diffuser will be getting picked up by Maggie. They're still detached from each other, and Martin is aware of that. Holding an angle onto the prep door, and Maggie will be rotating all the way around as is aware of Martin's presence. Inside of Kocek, there goes the swing from Stroof and picks up the final kill, bringing another round to Lumina Gaming. And despite FireBird understanding that Lumina were going to be very aggressive again, they were not able to pick up the round despite of that. We're getting another technical pause here coming out from FireBird. Of course, they, as I mentioned, had a couple disconnects happen in the previous round. They also had some disconnects happening yesterday. They've been very unlucky as far as that goes. Fortunately, there's not much that you can do as a player to control that. A lot of that comes down to just servers and bandwidth and whatever. I don't even know. But that is really, really unlucky, because that can definitely play with your mind. If you are the player struggling with connectivity issues, it could really be a problem where, you're going for that swing, you're trying to get that kill, and then a little bit of lag, or maybe even get rubber banded, which of course is the when you move forward and then you sort of stop for a second, and then you're just sprung back about 5 meters. That could be very, very frustrating. Sometimes it can save your life. I've definitely been saved by a lucky rubber band, but very, very rarely are those things lucky and desirable for players, and especially in a competitive setting where I'm sure everybody would enjoy playing on LAN with 0 ping and being able to play exactly the way that you want to, where ping isn't an issue and connectivity isn't something that you have to think about. It can definitely be very, very frustrating when that is something that you have to think about, and it definitely could be playing with the overall team morale, especially, as I said, if that is a high-value operator. Of course, this time that was struggling a little bit playing that cave, so that utility had already been deployed. But take it if it had been somebody like Huno with the Warden, whose utility is continuous throughout the round and is most beneficial in that execute in the mid to late round, that could definitely be very detrimental to a team. But Lumina Gaming doing a really, really great job adapting to what they are playing against. They saw from FireBird on the first round that they will be roaming, and that they will be wasting a lot of time that way. Their pacing was really off in the first round because of that, because they were wasting so much time still trying to clear out those roamers, and then when it came to the execute, they lost their gunfights because they weren't they didn't have the execute set up perfectly, because they didn't have enough time to set it up. And they looked at that and thought, okay, well, if they're going to be roaming, if they're going to be trying to waste our time, let's just give them no time to waste, and not necessarily rush, but do sort of like a smart rush, where you push in, you isolate those players on site, and you force the roamers to come to you once that plant is already down. And that's what Lumina Gaming did in the first round. In the second round, they tried to do it again, or in the third round, rather. They tried to do it again. It didn't work quite that way, because FireBird were able to counter that, but they were still able to bring it back because they were there for those trades. So that was a really, really great round from Lumina Gaming, and we will be seeing FireBird going back upstairs to Bar. Of course, they won this first, and then it was locked for 2 consecutive rounds, so they weren't able to go back to it. And of course, going for any of the mid-floor sites is a bit of a risk, as those are both the tertiary site. Both of those sites are the tertiary pick for most teams. So that's not something that they really wanted to have to deal with if they didn't have to. So they will be going back upstairs to try and equalize the score line once more.
5 seconds to
We can see the Lumina are bringing quite a different lineup this time. Maggie playing the Amaru probably will be eating straight up onto the roof very early on, or they might be trying to go for a bit of a rush plant of sorts up onto... there goes another run out. Just being very aggressive is Huna, trying to maybe get a couple free kills. So far is not punished for it, but it's a very, very risky play. Maggie will be going into the... Oh my lord. Maggie has the Supernova shotgun, which is one of the worst shotguns in the game. There goes the yeet into the window. There goes the second yeet as well. There goes the kill into the C4. And the plant is going down. 4 versus 4 inside of the smoke. There goes the plant. Solar's picking up another kill. Huna picking up a refrag on to Shroof. There will be a flank on the white stairs, or top of the white stairs. There goes the kill from Maggie onto Martin. Hiram trying to pick up a kill from the vertical angles. Maggie taking a lot of damage at the hands of Huno. Huno will be swinging out onto Set. That gets the kill. Both of them now on white stairs. Huno with a beautiful pre-fire to take care of Maggie, and now it's all down to Soros. Those straps will be getting shot at. Still doing a little bit of damage. There goes the run out from Hiram to take care of Soros, and the diffuser will be disabled. FireBird, bring the round back. Unbelievable turnaround there. Great job from Huna to pick up those kills. That pre-fire onto Maggie was just absolutely delicious. And they equalize the scoreline, win their primary site again, and will definitely be a lot more confident in their play now that they managed to bring that round back around. And Lumina, who were trying to go for a very aggressive push, and actually did go for a push and looked like it was going to work, weren't able to hold onto it quite well. Of course, that was, a matter of seconds. I think it was about 10 seconds when Huno got onto the diffuser. So that was a really, really great job to bring that back and to keep that alive
10 seconds left before
within the time frame, because of course missing that by another second or two loses them the round on time, even if they pick up the kill, which they did. And Lumina are bringing the exact same lineup again, with that Thatcher and that Thermite, bringing the Ash and the Iana for good measure, and sticking with the secondary hard breacher. There goes a spawn peek from Future, from Suko onto Future, and that's that Iana gone. A lot of the utility will stay in place. Of course, they have 2 shields in play this time, which are now going to be a lot harder to deal with, as they have only the Ash to take care of that utility. I guess they could potentially use the Selma charges. There goes the Cade trick, and I'm surprised that was able to get breached. That was really, really lucky there that the Selma was placed, that the Cade Claw was placed where it was, because well, I really thought that both the Selma charge and the exothermic charge were going to get absolutely wasted in that exchange. But now, with man advantage, FireBird still have quite a long time to try and hold on to this. We still have Yuno on that roaming as the Solus, so we'll be able to spot out any potential drones or any claymores that might get placed down. Of course, Lumina have 4 at their disposal. With this wall open, they will be looking to try and get into the site as quickly as possible so that they can get that plant down. Oh, and what a pre-fire from Huno to get rid of Solrus. Wow. Another delicious shot. There goes a C4 to take care of Stroof. Zet and Maggie both pick up one. Zet picks up another. Can't quite get the last. And FireBird put themselves on in the advantageous position again for the second time so far in this half. Secured themselves at least an even split once they get onto the attacking side and win another round for themselves. To complete the rotation will be reading Fireplace as their tertiary site to close out this half.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Lumina are bringing some verticality this time. They are bringing that sledge. And I do believe that either the IQ or the Sophia, perhaps even both, will be bringing along the breach charges as well. I do believe that at least the Ace will pick up the Claymores. Well, one of them will pick up the Claymores, I do believe. Maggie does switch off the Sophia onto the floors instead, of course, to clear out any of that utility, of which there will be plenty with the Goyo and the Malusi both together.
Attackers are heading out to defuse.
I find it interesting that FireBird are deciding to do this without a castle. Castle is very common for this defense, defending that FireBird. What? Fireplace reading site. You know, you have to defend it from upstairs. It's a very vertical map, and especially a very, very vertical site, as the entire reading ceiling is completely destructible, so you have to hold it from upstairs, and typically teams like to do that with a castle just to waste a little bit more time and utility, but FireBird are deciding that they don't need that, and they're just going to hold it by themselves. This shock drone will be taking care of at least a little bit of this utility. There goes the blow onto the Vulcan canister, and that drone does stay alive, so more of those lasers will come out to clear out even more utility, and really just expert droning there from Maggie to get this drone in positions that they need them. Yuno getting very aggressive, picking up 2 kills. There goes a third, and Yuno, after disconnecting in the first couple rounds, absolutely annihilating Lumina right now, taking care of a lot of their players. That's the Iana, Habana, and IQ all gone. All down to the DMR Twitch. That will be the next one to fall at the hands of Hiram, and it's all down to Solrus the Sledge inside of Piano with 90 seconds left to go to try and salvage something of this round. This will have to be quite an ace for Solrus to try and win this round. Solrus is free. This will probably be a moment for Lumina to slow down and discuss, you know, their defensive half. This is the final round of their attack. There goes a kill onto Huno, still just baiting out a little bit, trying to see if FireBird are going to get aggressive and give up those free kills. There will be another swing. There goes Yuno trying to pick up at least a 4K as the ace has been stolen. That goo mine will be given away Solrus' position, and Martin will be picking up the final kill of the round and of the half. FireBird put themselves at 4-2, at a 4-2 split on the half. They are going to be attacking now, and with 2 rounds up, this is going to be quite a bit easier than if it was the other way around and they were having to attack with only 2 rounds under their belt. I'm really curious to see how this goes. Lumina are bringing a completely different lineup and a completely different setup to the one that we saw FireBird bring. They're completely foregoing that Mira. They're bringing instead the Valkyrie and the Castle. Also bringing a Warden to prevent a rush like the one that we saw them pull off, to prevent that from happening and hurting them in much the same way. But FireBird are not even
10 seconds left before
looking to do something like that. And they
5 seconds left
are just bringing
before
a pretty standard vertical push lineup.
attackers are heading
They
out
have
to
the
defuse
Sledge and the Yana with the grenades to push from below and do some damage onto the floorboards of the site. And then also have the hard breachers of Zero and Ace, and of course Zero, very, very good at gaining information. Now that is a very, very dangerous rappel that they have just pulled off. Oh, I don't even understand how, but Zuko gets the kill on Thesaurus. That's the new gun, and a C4 to boot. That rotation was made in the wrong place, and they are now having to remove it, or they are going to keep the rotation in that place. No, they've made a secondary rotate hole, as of course the one on the right hand side leaves you quite exposed to the skylight peak that we just saw Lumina lose a life to. Huna picking up another kill onto Zet. And there goes another Future going down as well. This is really, really well done here from FireBird. Future does get picked up, but is now on very, very low HP. And FireBird have taken control of Piano as we speak. A lot of these cams will be used to support the flank. Should Lumina decide to embark on that particular adventure, I think Future might be trying to decide if that's something he wants to do, but so far he's staying put on top of White Stairs. Yuno has since rotated to the cocktail balcony, or to the cocktail rappel, and will be causing a little bit of will be distracting the defenders a little bit. Suko picks up Future finally. Maggie does get the trade, but there goes the retrade, and it's all down to Stroof. There goes the swing in. He gets the one. There's another one on the cocktail balcony. Can't quite get the kill, and there goes Martin picking up the kill onto Stroof, as he does pick up one there at the very end of the round. So it was a 1-for-1 trade, but it's another round on the board for FireBird. They win their first attacking round, and they put themselves in quite the lead here. Only 2 rounds away from taking it all, or taking it all in this map, and bringing us all the way down to third map, which will be Clubhouse. If we get to see it, if Lumina don't manage to bring this back, they will be going downstairs this time.
attackers need to locate and defuse
They
as many
won
bombs
this
as they
site
can.
twice. Weren't able to hold on to it the third time, and they're bringing quite an interesting lineup. They're bringing the Bandit instead of the Cade, and then they're bringing 2 very roam-heavy operators, the Solus and the Vigil. Now, it is a roam-heavy play style from FireBird that lost them the round. So I find it interesting that they are going to go for that anyway. But it doesn't look like FireBird will be doing anything to sidestep that, as they will be playing the Buck and the IQ probably upstairs to do a lot of vertical damage. Of course, I've said it multiple times by now. It's a very, very vertical map. But as I was saying, actually, last round, before that first kill got, that is a very dangerous rappel, as of course, a C4 could be tossed through it and kill you and your entire team. But FireBird are confident that that is not what Lumina are doing, and have already taken control of this top floor. They will be having to contest. Actually, they haven't, because Shroop is still inside of a cocktail. He took a little bit of damage, and he took the most damage as Huno picks him off. Finally, they will be having to contest against Maggie here in a little bit, but this is really good pacing from them because with a minute gone, they have already established control over the top floor and I think of the mid floor as well, as I do believe Maggie has dropped off and away back towards site. We see them playing inside of coat check. There goes the kill onto Zet. And this is again a really good round here from FireBird. Really good pacing from them as well. There goes another kill from those vertical angles onto Future, and it's all down to Maggie and Solrus with over a minute left to go to try and hold on to this round and try to salvage this round.
Ready to breach. Bring on. Setting charge.
A lot of this vertical damage is being done. A C4 will get deployed. It does not pick up anybody, not by a long shot. And now with only one impact grenade in the pocket of Maggie, FireBird or Lumina are having to hold on to this with their life. 40 seconds left to go. There goes the kill onto Hiram. He does, or that goes the kill onto Solrus. He does manage to get the trade, but it took out to finish off Maggie, and FireBird put themselves on match point. Not match point, map point, and put us just a little bit closer to potentially seeing map 3. Of course, we've only seen the third map get played twice so far in this tournament. And interestingly enough, both of these teams were involved in that happening both of those times. FireBird were the first ones to bring it to map 3 against Arctic Wolves, the last time that they played. In the upper bracket semifinals, and Lumina saw the map 3 get played against Voltage in the lower bracket quarterfinals. So very, very interesting that both of these teams were able to bring it to map 3 the previous times that they played. Of course, FireBird lost out in map 15 against Arctic Wolves right here on Cafe. It was
10 seconds remaining.
it was a mighty comeback there on the half. I do believe it was FireBird who made the comeback onto to push it into overtime, but they were not able to close it out, and Lumina won it against Voltage in one Chalet, I believe it was, the third map that night, against Voltage in quite a confident fashion. But FireBird, feeling rather confident being up 6-2, will be going for what I can only consider to be a rush, considering that they have a sense and a blitz. A run-out attempt from Solrus does get immediately punished, and well, that's not looking good for Lumina. There goes a kill from Fusion. He gets one, but gets immediately flashed by the blitz. There goes the trade. Zet does pick up another. Martin very low HP, so Lumina are still in the advantageous position here, especially with that breach still being closed. Stroof kills Suko with the Thorn gadget. I'm not sure what those are called as like an actual gadget name. And there goes Zet picking up the kill onto Hiram, and it's all down to Martin now on a sliver of HP. Can't even get the kill onto Zet, and Lumina pick up another round, keep themselves alive for just a little bit longer. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. You know, whenever you're up by a certain amount of rounds, that shouldn't be treated with this. It shouldn't be treated with, you know, just a rush. Let's just be silly. Let's just be goofy. Let's see what happens. Let's play a blitz. Because it's a very, very quick way to lose a lot of rounds and to lose the advantage. Because, of course, now that puts Lumina back onto the top floor, which they won ever so confidently the last time that they played it. So,
Attackers
did
need
they?
to locate and defuse bombs.
No, I'm not sure. No, they didn't. They didn't even win it. So, Um,
Bomb located by attackers.
well, no, they had to have won it. Because why would they go downstairs if they didn't win it? No, they didn't win it. I'm confused. In any case, it does put Lumina back on top 4. And it could be a problem for FireBird if Lumina start to catch momentum now. Because now they are not as far away from catching up as they were before. And they are bringing the mirror this time, so they are going to be
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
going for that really, really strong setup here against FireBird. But as I was saying, when you're up by a certain amount of rounds, that's not the amount of rounds that you have to be goofy with. That is the amount of rounds that you have to get the advantage. And a run out and spawn peek attempt from Soros this time goes very, very well. Picks off Martin and picks off that Iana as well. Great. Wow. I've seen the spawn peek in the bottom half of the window, never in the top half of the window. That was a cheeky one. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Lumina now have the advantage. It is immediately nullified as soon as they set it. Picking up the kill onto Future was Hiram, I believe, or Suko. I forgot to look, I'm not gonna lie. But nevertheless, the control into piano will be given. Oh yeah, they still have the mirror window to contest. Never mind. I just realized that the Pixel player had vacated that position, but of course there's still that mirror window to contest against. There's the close one, and there's also a far one all the way from inside of the plank side. That's going to make it a lot harder to attack into piano, of course, with a lot of these walls being opened up to prevent a push. And of course, with the Solus below, still able to gather a lot of information onto the onto the attackers. This is going to be challenging for FireBird. Hiram walking straight into piano, taking that control. Now with a minute left to go, the planter is in sight and the diffuser will be going down, but of course having to contest against a Solus will mean nothing because the Solus is not in position to deny the plant. There goes the kill onto the Solus. In a post-plant situation now, it's Stroof versus Hiram as the rest of their team pick up some kills and pick up a lot of damage. Stroof doing a lot of damage, but taking even more. Hiram rotating all the way around, wasting as much time as possible. There must be some information about the positioning or the repositioning of Hiram. A lot of pre-fires coming out. It's a DMR against the Commando. There goes the kill, but it's a little too late. And FireBird, beyond the grave, pick up the final round of this map and bring us all the way down to 1-1 in this matchup. Wow. Great play from FireBird. Great adaptation to losing a couple of those rounds earlier on. Of course, they won the first round, and then they lost the following two, and then they adapted completely onto what Lumina were doing, and they countered them perfectly, won the map. And now we will be seeing Clubhouse for, but I don't know about how many times we've seen Clubhouse. I don't remember. I think it's something like 4 times now. But we will be seeing map 3 for the 3rd time in this tournament. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. It'll be Clubhouse.
to 10, and we'll be where we wanna. When you're next to me, I can't pretend. You've got me feeling like you're where I wanna be, wanna be. Please don't let me go, I need you right here by my side. So won't you run away with me tonight? You could be the one that I've been wanting all my life. 'Cause when you're looking at me with those eyes, I don't wanna leave, I need you, we could be the light. So won't you run away with me tonight?
I should have been a skater, maybe a heartbreaker, some kind of creator, simple money maker. I'm just a simple money maker. Time passing me by, I'm cold but it's July, and I know that my disguise will melt off in a sunrise, and I know that it's designed for the sun to make me shine, but it feel like this time that my heart's been mummified, and I won't make it to the night. They tell me I'm too young to be thinking like this, got my life ahead of me but feel like it's in abyss, like my life left for a mistress. Call me back, I must have missed it. I should have been a skater, maybe a heartbreaker, some kind of creator, simple money maker. I'm just a simple money maker. I think I can fix myself if I write rhymes, but I'm lying to myself, and I know that it's a sign that the more I try to sing and the more I
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the final map of the lower bracket semi-finals. My name is Retro, and I will be guessing this final map here for you tonight. It is Clubhouse between FireBird and Lumina. We just saw them play on Oregon. It was a 7-2 very quick closeout from Lumina. Then it was a 7-3 closeout from FireBird. Another very, very confident win from them. And it's all to play for here on Clubhouse. There is no more matches to play for the loser of this matchup. There is no lower bracket for them to compete in. There is no placement match for them to get any higher than they will be. They will be placing in fourth place. Yes, they will be placing in fourth place. If they lose this, there is no more advancing from them. And of course, the winner will be continuing on to play against the loser of the upper bracket finals that will go down tomorrow, I do believe. But without any further ado, Clubhouse has begun. The bans have already come out from both of these teams. We've seen Clubhouse get played. I think this is the third or fourth time that we're seeing Clubhouse so far in the tournament. And I think that the bans have been pretty much universal across the board as far as bans can go on Clubhouse. We've seen Habana get banned. We've seen Cade get banned on this map before. And of course, Habana, she can open up a lot of sight lines. She can open up a lot of those hatches, especially on that basement site. It makes it really, really difficult to actually defend it. And even if you're trying to impact trick it, she can of course control how many pellets she deploys at a time. And if she just goes 2x2, well, she has more pellets than you have impact grenades, so she can still get that hatch opened, even if you don't want her to. Cade, again, a very unsurprising ban coming up from Lumina, especially when they are going to be attacking. Just as much as Habana makes that basement site unattackable. Unattackable? What? She makes it undefendable. Cade makes it unattackable, is what I meant to say. Azami has been banned in every single map so far today. FireBird have taken her off the board every single time. They really do not like her, but of course she's a really, really strong operator. We actually saw Azami get played yesterday on Clubhouse, and she was quite a nuisance for the attacking team, so I'm not surprised that they don't want her around. The only outlier as far as bans go really is the Maverick. Is the Maverick, which we have not seen get banned yet. Something may be going on with this lobby. I did miss that kill onto Maggie. I'm not sure whether that was the runner. I think it might have been, as Huna is the only one or is one of the only ones with the kill. It was Hiram to pick up the kill onto Future as well. So Lumina are working with quite a limited roster here. They still have their hard breacher in place, and they will be going for the hatch opening. And I think they might have destroyed that exothermic charge by just shooting at it. Chancing his fate here, peeking onto Zet, and Zet doing the same. Hiram does go down to Zet from that hatch, but Huno is still inside of bar and is still being used, and it's created a really nice pixel peek. Shroof is inside of dirt, so that could be a potential push point here for Lumina, but they're still getting contested onto from inside of bar.
Loading new mag.
There goes the kill from Huno onto Solrus, and now with about 70 seconds to go, it's all down to Shroof pushing inside of this dirt tunnel, and it's Huno to pick up the final kill. FireBird put themselves on the board right away here in round 1. And despite some connectivity issues that they've been having for the past couple of days, they are looking really, really strong, and they're really looking like they could get this round on the board. This round, this map, and this match is what I meant. In any case, they will be going up to gym and bedroom this time. It really has been picking up a lot of steam as the secondary site. It used to be CCTV, of course. Basement has been the primary site for quite some time. CCTV was the secondary site for a lot of teams for a long time, but something that really happens a lot with sites is that they get overplayed. That's what happened to CCTV. CCTV used to be a primary site for a really long time, a really, really long time, where it was just really difficult to attack into. But then, it got overplayed, and there's only so many strats that you can come up with before the meta is working against you. And that's what happened to CCTV. Huno will be going for another run-out / spawn peek attempt here from inside of stock, and this could net a kill on Shroof if he's not careful. So far, not pushing out far enough. There goes the run-out to just above the heads of the attackers, and doesn't net anything. But it definitely will waste a little bit of their time, as they will have to drone Huno out and make sure that he's not in a position to run out again. Oh, and as he is the soloist, you can see when that person is on drones, you can see the drones coming towards him as well, but he cannot see the people, and this is going to be a rush straight into garage, as that wall is open and that garage control is opened up. That soloist gone off the board. That construction wall will be getting opened up as well. Yuno's position given away. His teammate, I do believe that was Martin, has fallen away, leaving him alone inside of cash room to still try and test. He does retreat safely, but that is a lot of map control to be giving up with only a minute gone. Maggie will be attempting to breach the jacuzzi wall, and will be successful, as there's only one mute jammer on the wall, and it is placed right in the middle, so it is not successful in denying that breach. Zet and Yuno both trade each other. That's the thermite gone, but not before using up their utility, and while doing their job as hard breach. These mute jammers are preventing the breach charges from going off on the windows and destroying them, so that will be delaying the attack a little bit longer, but they are still in an advantageous position. Hiram could get a really sick flank here, especially as no one was on drone. Zet, the only dead person, was spectating a teammate, and there goes Hiram. A very, very fruitful flank to get 2 kills. Maggie does pick up 1. It's now a 2 versus 2, about equal as far as HP goes. Future on top of main stairs. Maggie to boot. Hiram challenging onto those main stairs, taking a lot of damage.
Gone dark.
The HP advantage is now in the hands of the attack, but there's a lot of information being given onto their position. Hiram swings out again, gets one, gets two, and FireBird take another round despite disconnecting again. Again, those connectivity issues have really been hurting FireBird so far, but they are really not letting it get to them. And they are they are really just not letting that bring them down, and they are really taking these gunfights. I think that was definitely a slip from Zet.
Protect your bombs from by attackers.
When you are dead in Siege, especially if you are a high-value operator that has used their utility already and has done their job, the best thing that you can do, and the only thing that you can do, is be on drones and watch out for flanks. Zet let that slip through. That round, went the way of FireBird because of that flank from Hiram, and it could have gone completely differently had he been spotted on that flank, which they did have a drone right in front of him that he knifed because nobody was on it,
5 seconds.
and it allowed the flank to go through and to be as successful as it was.
Attackers are moving to defuse
So
the bomb.
this is a really interesting thing. I was saying earlier that this used to be the primary set for a lot of teams, and there's only so many things that you can do. But FireBird have found another thing to do, and they are going for the complete, quick match type defense here, with that wall completely opened up. A clash in the breach. Lumina did bring a Kali to, deny the, or to destroy the, what's the word? The electrification on the wall, which, if you pay attention, there is none. They will be going for they will be going for the reinforcement on the CCTV wall, and as Solrus looks away, that wall is now reinforced. Future does make his way inside of the construction room all the way through bedroom. His position now known as he takes a couple of those pot shots onto Kali Clash. Martin picking up a kill onto Maggie, and that grenade does miss Hiram, so he is safe and sound still on top of red stairs. Zet will be opening up this wall while
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Future still trying to grenade out the Clash. There goes the grenade from below. Stroop with the kill finally onto Clash.
I'm reloading.
And Solar's picking up a kill onto as well, all the way from outside, as that wall is now open. 3 versus 3 with a minute to go. If we, hadn't seen the previous 2 minutes, we would even be able to say, oh wow, this is a completely normal round. But it is not. And there goes a kill, or rather a down onto Hiram, and there goes another down onto Martin, the person that was trying to pick up Hiram. There goes the, oh no, it was Suka that was trying to pick him up. Hiram does get healed, or does get picked up. Martin getting wasted inside of garage. There goes the kill onto Hiram and Suko to boot as well, with the Kali sniper. Play with the bull, you get the horns, I guess, would be my witty little conclusion about that round. As I was trying to make the point multiple times, but then was interrupted by the action that we saw. CCTV, yeah, was primary site, and it still is a strong site. Not necessarily if you play it that way. I think that was still quite winnable for FireBird, but they just got a little bit too aggressive in that 3 versus 3, especially with that Kali still alive and outside. Funnily enough, the Kali never made it inside of the building. At no point was the Kali even a foot inside of the building, which is a really funny factoid about this. But they're going back down into church. Arsenal, the basement site, which last time they won on the back of 2 really strong early picks
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
coming up from a spawn peek / run out type situation. The attackers all spawned construction side, and it looks like they will be going for a bit of a dirt attack. Another run-up from Huno, this time not as lucrative as it was last time, nearly loses his own life and is having to retreat, but that will give Lumina now insight into the fact that there is definitely somebody roaming, at least one person, and that will waste a little bit of their time as they're trying to clear that out. It will be Soros trying to drone them out. As the buck, Huno's already made his way all the way down into billiards, and if he remains undroned, he could pick up the kill onto Maggie the Nomad. Spots out that proxy, does not spot out the Oryx, finally does spot out the Oryx. I'm not sure if the Oryx is aware of getting spotted out, is definitely aware of it now, and a bit of a pre-fire onto the door. Doesn't net anything yet. Huno, still alive and well, retreats back. And look at how much time that has wasted. The hatch is open. Hiram picks up the first kill onto Maggie. That's the Nomad gone off the board. They were unaware of another roamer. And there goes another run out from Hiram. Just absolutely being very, very aggressive. Is this team of FireBird. Which is really interesting, considering that we saw them be very passive on the first 2 rounds on Oregon and on Cafe, and they are just absolutely gunning for it. Hiram still remains unpunished for his aggressiveness, picks up another kill onto Future, and now in a 3 versus 5 with 2 roamers still contesting them. They have only a minute to try and execute this attack. They will be rotating down to blue. Stroof is inside of the dirt tunnel again. He's aware of Yuno's position. Suko is still inside of Jen. That could be the next one to pick up the kill onto Zet if he's not careful. Zet does pick up a kill onto Yuno. Is unaware still of Suko, but does pick up the kill. There goes the trade, or rather the refrag. And there goes the trade as Martin picks up one, gets picked up right back. It's all down to Huno. He does get air jabbed off, but that diffuser now finally in the hands of Lumina, and there goes the kill to Lumina as well. Solar's picking up the final one, and FireBird let that slip away. 60 seconds to go, 5 versus 3, 2 roamers still up top, and they let that slip away. Really, really unfortunate round there for FireBird, but they are being very, very aggressive. As I mentioned, they were being very passive on the first two maps that we saw. And they are gunning for it this time. They are being very aggressive, and they are not letting it slip away from them
defenders protect
as easily as it might have on Oregon, where they were very passive. You know, that passiveness did pay off on Cafe, but of course Cafe is a way bigger map. Actually, is it? Everybody always says that Cafe is the biggest map, but like looking at Club right now, this map is huge. By the time that you get from garage to gym, it's taking you like 20 seconds. But in any case, it pays off a lot more to be passive on
5 seconds left.
a map like Cafe rather than on Clubhouse. Plus, it also could be, you know, just a little bit of,
Objective is to locate
you
a
know,
bomb and defuse it.
if it works, it works, and until it doesn't work, they're gonna keep doing it. And also, they are going to be pulling back a little bit, as they do not have that Oryx, and it will the Mozzie instead roaming with Hiram. So it's Martin and Hiram side by side to try and get these roams in.
Stay clear of ADS line of fire.
Sensor on. Searching for electronics.
Hiram aware of the attack coming from the Garrett side. So far uncontesting. There goes Martin with a kill onto Maggie. Definitely an information kill there. Being let know about the push there by the Solus. Future still trying to hunt these roamers as is Solros. They've already wasted a minute. They are aware of a run-out attempt, and there goes Hiram, finally punished. That aggressiveness and that, dare I say, cockiness, finally getting punished. Martin has to pull all the way back, and that was only about a minute wasted, which on Clubhouse is not a whole lot. It's really not a whole lot of time wasted. The vertical pressure will begin from the Buck, and the hatches will get opened up by Zet the Thermite. They still have 2 can openers in the pocket of Solros, the Buck, should they lose the Thermite. And there goes the Buck, dying to a pre-play C4 that we saw Martin put down as he was retreating back to site. This swings the numbers back into the favor of FireBird. And with a minute to go, this is looking not great for Lumina. That grenade gets swallowed by the ADS. That grenade will go off, but it doesn't pick up anything. And Martin is able to safely retreat back to the position that he was playing earlier. Zet drops the hatch into Moto. Through those punch holes, does a lot of damage onto Suko, who will be getting challenged onto by the player inside of blue as well. There goes the player inside of blue, picking up the kill, just as Future picks up another. Future getting down. Stroof now pushing it to sight, dies to Huno, and FireBird pick up another round, put themselves on an even split at the very least here on the first half of Clubhouse. I don't know how many more times I could say it, but I'll say it again. I don't know how the Thermite died. I don't remember. It just happened. It was with the Thermite that was inside of Moto. We didn't see it, I don't think. I think we had just switched to Stroof at that point inside of blue. In any case, the better split that FireBird have here on the defensive side of Clubhouse, which Clubhouse is one of the most defender-sided maps in the league. The better half that they have here on the opening side, the defensive side, the easier it will be for them to attack. As we see, Lumina are struggling just a tiny bit to attack onto this map, and that is, well, partially because FireBird are being very aggressive, and it's tough to counter that aggression.
5 seconds.
But they are also, getting a little bit confused about which side of the wall should be reinforced and have a mirror window on it. Yes, the better the half for FireBird on their defensive side, the better the attack will be. And there goes a TK from Future on to Solrus, and that there is their Thatcher gone. Luckily for them, there's not any electrification on the wall. There's only a mute jammer, which is easily countered by both the Ace and the Thermite. But it is still really unfortunate to lose, a player that early on, and currently their top fragger, but also to lose such a high-value operator that early on. Yuno taking a lot of damage. There goes the kill from Suko onto Maggie. Zet does pick up a trade or a refract. Suko with an absolutely beautiful shot onto Zet. Huno to pick up one more, and it's all down to Future inside of Ludgy. They all know where he is, and they all push him, and they all get the kill. Well, they don't all get the kill. Huno gets the kill. But they all get the round, and they have set themselves up for a pretty good attacking half here. As we see the side switch, they're up 4-2. And that is a really good setup for them. Of course, they were up 4-2 on their attacking half on Cafe as well. And that is a really good position to be in. I said it already before. If you missed it, I'll repeat it again. The amount of rounds that you have, the amount of rounds that you're ahead by on the side switch is not the amount of rounds that you have to be goofy with. It is the amount of rounds that you have as breathing room. So, for example, we see Lumina taking that basement site, which we saw FireBird lose. FireBird, what? That we saw Lumina lose when they were attacking it. So it is definitely a very difficult site to attack. And it is a primary site for most teams. So it is unsurprising that is what Lumina are going for first. And should FireBird lose this, as that is the primary site, not all is lost because they still have a round advantage and they can afford to lose a round. But it is not okay. In other words, to simplify this speech or this monologue that I give pretty much every single night, it is not the amount of rounds that you have to throw. It is the amount of rounds that you have to try and win and afford to lose. If that makes sense. That doesn't really explain it in the way that I explain it, but in any case, 30 seconds of this round have already gone. Notable picks here from both of these teams are the Capcan from Struve, who could be causing trouble for FireBird. Martin will be challenging onto the, I think that's Zet inside of, under its Future, inside of the secret stairs, but just walks right past him, and on the retreat, it's Martin to take a lot of damage at the hands of Future. Future does retreat all the way back, and a completely different play style here from Lumina is completely, turtle-ish. They're not roaming very much. They're sticking nearby side. The only roamer really to note is Maggie inside of Oil Pit. But so far that hasn't gained them anything, and that's not far enough from sight for it to be an issue. They still have wasted 90 seconds of FireBird's time on them just trying to see whether Lumina are roaming or not, and they finally figured out that they are not roaming, so they are able to push back the site. But despite the hatch being open, they cannot drop into it or do anything with that hatch being open, other than maybe do a couple pot shots, because there's still some Siri gates on top of it. There goes the grenade from the Moto hatch to potentially get a kill onto Zet, or at the very least to open up that wall. The negative does go out. It doesn't do any damage or clear out any utility. They do open up, they do get disable that Siri gate, at least for now. Another grenade comes out from Hiram, the Nook finally surviving the ban phase. And with now 35 seconds left to go, this will be an execute. Somehow inside of Arsenal, which is completely vacated of all defenders, does get that plant down. Suko picking up another kill. There goes the trade. Yuno goes down to the player inside of Dirt, but it's the hatch play still winning. Hiram on top of the hatch has control of the diffuser. Maggie will be trying to go for a sneaky defuse. Hiram will be on that case, taking a lot of damage actually to that DMR. It will be a pistol attempt. It will fail, and it's all down to Maggie now. It is Hiram with a suppressed Deagle to pick up the final kill and to pick up the first round of their attacking half for Lumina. That was a really great execute, despite seemingly not having any control. FireBird, or not FireBird, what am I saying? FireBird pick up the round on the attacking half. the first round of their attacking half. Lumina gave up that control. They still had sight, and then they all rotated around to church, and that's where they lost it because Yuno was just able to get inside of sight and plant. But I can't even blame them because it was a really great misdirection from FireBird. You know, they were putting down a lot of utility, a lot of hatch drops were coming down into Moto. Lumina can only assume that that's where the push is coming from, especially with that pinch from Blue as well. But FireBird instead just gunned it down the short hallway and went straight into sight. Got that diffuser down, and then the hatch play is what won the round. Maggie will be playing the Solus this time instead of the Valkyrie. Of course, the Solus can see a lot of these drones. She can deny information. Information is king in Siege.
Attackers are moving out to
So she can deny a lot of that information for FireBird, but she can also see that plant going down. So FireBird might not be able to get away with it again. The hatch soft this time will get opened up immediately. Hiram taking a lot of damage and doing a lot of damage onto, I would only guess that would be Shroof, seeing as he's the one on very low HP, but he might have just impacted himself or something or other.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Active in the sector.
The attack will also be coming into dirt. I do believe that's Suko trying to breach the dirt wall. It is.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
So they will also be pushing there, or at the very least making Future uncomfortable inside of dirt. Martin picking up the first kill onto Solrus. That is a very, very important pick. Taking care of the Warden so early on with still 3 flashes and 2 smoke grenades left inside in the pockets of FireBird. Not having the Warden in that situation could be very, very crucial.
A bomb has been located.
FireBird is still droning out the top floor, making sure that nobody is droning and that nobody is roaming, and then nobody will come back to bite them once the execution commences. Hiram picking up the kill into Future inside of Dirt Tunnel. Future unable to hold on to that position. There go those smokes. And I think we're going to see a hatch drop here in a sec. That taking a lot of damage to a grenade. And there goes the kill. Follow-up push from Hiram. Getting taken down by Maggie. Maggie gets 2. Gets immediately traded out. It's all down to Shroof. He gets 1. 1 versus 2. The hatch play again in their control. Suko drops. Both of them now inside of Arsenal. I think one of them will be rotating through the dirt tunnel back upstairs. And I do believe that will be Yuno. Still having to contest the buck of Suko inside of Arsenal on very low HP. And against that Skeleton Key, this is going to be a very, very difficult round for Shroof. And it is again the hatch play that wins the round for FireBird, putting them on match and a map point, or map and match point. Timeout requested by Lumina. I'm not surprised. They are being put onto match point, map and match point. And despite playing with 2 subs in the hands of Shroof and Future, they've really been playing a really good game. They had a really good game on Oregon. Not so much on Cafe, and clearly not so much here on Clubhouse. I mean, the 2 rounds that they won were pretty much given away for free by FireBird. Or it was actually 1 round was given away free by FireBird with that CC hold, where I believe it was Solrus on the Kali, who never even entered the building. And then it was the round on Basement, where despite very aggressive plays and early 2 picks from Hiram, FireBird let it slip away. So, yeah, Lumina are definitely being spread thin here by FireBird. And I hope that this timeout will come to aid them in trying to make a comeback, as now this will be counted as a comeback. They will have to win 4 rounds in a row. They cannot afford to lose a single round more. And they will have to be pushing it all the way into overtime. They have no chances of winning this in regulation anymore. and they have to make a count
Defenders, protect your
here
bombs from
and
being
tonight.
defused by
So
attackers.
for the potentially final round of this map match and potentially Lumina's run in this tournament, we will be seeing Lumina defending Gym Bedroom.
Jammer ready to activate.
They are bringing the Mira again. I say again, I don't think they've brought her yet. But they are bringing the Mira, which I'm glad to see her getting utilized so much. As of course, she's a very, very
10
strong
seconds left
operator.
before insertion.
We saw her get played a lot on Cafe as well. That's another map where she really shines.
5 seconds to go.
But yeah, she makes these a lot of these sites very difficult to attack onto once she's in play, and we even saw her get banned before on Clubhouse, which is unsurprising considering how strong she can be. It brought the Amaru, and I'm not sure where that is necessarily going to be utilized. It probably will be on the main stairs window to just gain map control very early on, and as the entire attack is focused on
Serious drywall.
that is exactly where he will be going into, and he might even get a kill from just a punch onto Future, but Future does back away, and there goes the Supernova kill onto one. Hiram gets the other, C4 gets one, and it's all down to Solrus very early on.
Attackers drop the defuse.
Can't quite get the kill, does get the down onto Yuno, gets another, that's a 3K, he knows there's one on top of main stairs, but they rush, and they get the win. There goes FireBird. Despite the timeout, Lumina were just not prepared for a rush like that. They were not prepared for a win like that. And FireBird take the match 2-1. They advance further through the tournament. They will be competing against the loser of the upper bracket finals or semifinals. Upper bracket finals. Which will be Flying Fabians against it'll be Flying Fabians against I'm not sure who, but nevertheless, that was a great attempt there from Lumina. Again, they made it really, really deep into the tournament despite playing with primarily subs the entire time. They played with 2 subs today. They played with 3 subs on Saturday. So, the fact that they were able to get as far as upper bracket, as far as lower bracket semifinals is really impressive. Hopefully next season when they have a complete roster and are able to really compete, they will get even further down into the tournament. But in any case, this has been Revival. Thank you everybody for watching. I've been Retro. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Thank you and good night.